My precious chosen one, a trembling whisper moves through the realms tonight, and it carries your name. Archangel Michael has stepped forward with a message so urgent, so heavy with destiny, that even time itself seems to pause around it. When he says, "I am begging for your 1 minute," it is not a casual plea. It is a divine alarm bell ringing through your spirit, because something unimaginable is preparing to break into your life. Heaven rarely uses the language of urgency unless the moment is truly historic. And this moment, this message is unlike anything you have stood before. Archangel Michael speaks of a financial release, $55 million, not as a symbol, not as a metaphor, but as a real shift that is aligning with your timeline. A blessing so enormous that your past struggles cannot remain standing in front of it. A blessing so loud that even the forces that worked against you are shaking right now. But listen closely, in the angelic realm, every blessing carries a window, a time, a divine appointment, a moment in which heaven says now. And in this message, the timing is clear. Today at 9 p.m. That hour will not arrive casually. It will not pass like other evenings. That moment has been written into your story long before you ever knew to expect it. Archangel Michael keeps showing me the image of you standing at a doorway that has been locked for years. Financial delays, unexpected losses, silent battles that nobody understood, all of them kept you outside what was meant to be yours. But tonight, for the first time in a long time, the lock is weakening. Something is shaking loose. Something is cracking open. And that is why Michael says, if you ignore this message, you will lose all your money. Not because heaven threatened, but because spiritual openings require acknowledgement. Because blessings that large cannot simply rest on someone who walks past their moment of awakening. This message is not fear, it is protection. It is warning. It is preparation. There are forces that do not want you to step into abundance. Forces that fed on your worry, your lack, your silent fears at night. They know what happens if you awaken now. They know what happens if you receive this message instead of scrolling away. They know the power you reclaim when Archangel Michael enters the room. And make no mistake, he is in the room with you right now. Feel the weight. Feel the shift in your chest. Feel the heat on your shoulders. He is standing guard over your finances, over your future, over the door that is about to open so wide that even your enemies won't be able to deny it. Heaven is not asking you to chase money. Heaven is telling you that money, in a supernatural form, is chasing you. But only if your spirit stays awake long enough to receive the instruction. Only if you do not scroll past the one message that was written specifically for you. The angelic realm saw something you did not. They saw a moment coming where your entire financial life rises or collapses based on your awareness. They saw an attack forming against your destiny. They saw someone plotting to block what belongs to you. Paperwork delays, withheld payments, closed opportunities, even the attempt to make you doubt your own path. And so Archangel Michael steps in, sword drawn, voice unshaking, saying, "Open it now." Because the moment you acknowledge the message, the moment you choose awareness over fear, the moment you choose destiny over distraction, the financial blockage loses its final grip. Right now, heaven is shifting your timeline. Right now, 9 p.m. is being marked in gold. Right now, the angelic realm is preparing something you once believed was too big for you. But listen carefully, this message is not about luck. It is not about chance. It is about spiritual alignment. You have suffered long enough. You have waited long enough. You have cried long enough. And heaven has seen every moment of it. That is why this blessing is not random. It is restoration. It is compensation. It is divine repayment for every loss that broke your heart. Before this night ends, something will be revealed to you. A sign, a shift, a sudden inner knowing, confirming that this message was not an accident. Stay with this revelation. Do not disconnect. Do not drift away. The moment you've been prepared for is approaching faster than you think. And trust me, you don't want to miss what unfolds next. It only gets deeper from here. Tap I receive the divine release in the comments if this is speaking to your spirit. Blessing code 5500 has just been activated for you. Beloved soul of light, there is a tremor in the spiritual atmosphere around you right now, a vibration so intense that even the quiet corners of your life are beginning to wake up. Archangel Michael is standing closer than before, and he is showing me something that explains why this message reached you at this exact moment and why ignoring it would shift your entire destiny. He keeps pointing toward a timeline, a moment in your past where everything began to change without you noticing. A moment when your finances suddenly dipped, opportunities slipped away, relationships shifted, or your inner confidence was shaken. You thought these were random events, but Michael reveals that something, or someone, interfered with your flow of abundance long ago. Someone spoke against you. Someone doubted you. Someone feared your success. And that energy attached itself to your money. But hear this clearly, tonight. Heaven says that attachment ends. Michael speaks again. This is why I am begging for their 1 minute. If they pause, if they listen, if they awaken, the chain breaks instantly. You have no idea how close you were to a major financial reversal. You have no idea how many blessings were waiting to be released but could not find a doorway into your life because of invisible blockages created by fear, betrayal, or spiritual interference. But now, Archangel Michael is cutting those ties, one by one, like ropes snapping off your destiny. He is not just bringing money. He is bringing restoration. He is bringing justice. He is bringing correction to everything that went wrong behind your back. And he keeps revealing something powerful. 9 p.m. today is not just a time. It is a spiritual appointment. It is the moment when an angelic decree goes into effect. It is the moment when your name is lifted into a higher realm. It is the moment when heaven says enough. Now let abundance flow. You may feel a strange sensation in your body right now, a warmth in your hands, a pulsing energy in your chest, a tingling on your skin. These are not random feelings. This is Michael marking you. This is heaven aligning your frequency with the blessing already written for you. This is your spirit adjusting to the new timeline, preparing to unfold in your favor. Archangel Michael keeps showing me something else. The number 55 million glowing like a golden seal. Not everyone can handle a blessing of that size. Not everyone has the spiritual maturity to receive it. But you have walked through storms that hardened you, taught you, prepared you. You have survived spiritual attacks that were meant to break you permanently. And heaven says your endurance opened a gate no enemy can shut. There is a reason you are hearing this message right now. There is a reason your spirit hasn't clicked away. There is a reason something inside you feels like this moment matters. Because it does. Something is being rewritten for you. Something is being returned to you. Something is being unlocked for you. Michael says your finances were meant to rise years ago, but someone's energy, jealousy, resentment, or silent negativity created a spiritual detour. This message is heaven's way of putting you back on the original path. Not the path of struggle, not the path of barely surviving, but the path of overflow, opportunities, financial stability, and spiritual authority. There is also a warning coming through. The same forces that blocked your finances earlier will try one last time to distract you, confuse you, or make you doubt this message. They do not want you seated at the table heaven prepared. They do not want you stepping into abundance. They do not want you awake. But Archangel Michael is here to defend you. He is here to break the final chain. He is here to stand between you and anything that rises against your prosperity. And he tells me to deliver this to you clearly. If they stay with this message, the blessing reaches them. If they turn away, the old pattern returns. This is why your heart is beating faster. This is why your intuition is sharpening. This is why something deep inside you knows that this moment is holy. You are stepping into a season where money will no longer be a fear, a burden, or a chain. Your financial life is being rewritten with heavenly ink right now. But you must remain present. You must remain spiritually open. You must allow Michael to finish what he began. And trust me, the revelation coming next will shake you to your core. This is where your breakthrough becomes undeniable. Hold your spirit steady, something even bigger is about to unfold. Type "I open the door of abundance" in the comments if this is resonating in your soul. Blessing code 9911 has just been released for you. Shall I continue and bring forth the next unfolding message? I illuminated one. There is a stirring in the unseen realm right now, and it is moving in your direction with the force of destiny. Archangel Michael is standing before a gate, a massive, radiant doorway, and he is telling me that this part of the message is the point where everything begins to shift in your favor. He says, tell them this is the moment their spirit remembers what their mind forgot. You were not born for struggle. You were not designed for lack. You were not created to chase scraps of abundance while others walked freely in overflow. Your soul carries ancient authority. And for too long, that authority has been buried under the weight of financial pain, family curses, setbacks, and spiritual interference meant to distract you from your birthright. But now heaven has decided your delay has reached its expiration date. Archangel Michael is revealing something urgent. There is a financial angel assigned to your life, but for years, this angel has been blocked, not by heaven, but by the emotional wounds you carried. Every disappointment closed the gate a little more. Every broken expectation dimmed the pathway. Every betrayal made your spirit hesitate to receive abundance. But tonight something is reversing. Tonight a divine alignment is taking place. Tonight the angel who was once stuck is now moving toward you with unstoppable force. Heaven has chosen 9 p.m. as the activation point because something about your spirit is ready now in a way it wasn't before. Your awareness has expanded. Your intuition has awakened. Your inner vision has sharpened. You are no longer someone who doubts your own worth. You are becoming someone who expects heaven to speak, and heaven is speaking. Archangel Michael shows me a scene. You standing in a dim hallway, holding a key, unsure which door it fits. That key represents your spiritual authority. For years, you carried it without knowing how powerful it was. But now, the door that fits the key is glowing. Tonight, that door opens. Tonight, the financial release that was blocked for so long bursts through. But Michael issues one more warning, and it is serious. There is someone in your energy right now whose presence drains you financially. This is not about money they take from you. This is about the emotional, spiritual, or mental weight they place on your shoulders. Their energy destabilizes your abundance. Their influence weakens your financial path. Their presence clouds your intuition. Michael says, if they ignore this message, that same draining influence will rise again and steal what is being released. This is why he begged for your 1 minute. This is why this message came with urgency. This is why ignoring it would cause loss. Because heaven knew this exact moment required your awareness. Your attention is your shield. Your understanding is your protection. Your awakened spirit is the weapon that breaks the last attack. Something else is being shown to me, and this part is powerful. Archangel Michael reveals that the number 55 million is not random. It is tied to your spiritual contract. You made a covenant with abundance long before you entered this lifetime, but that covenant was interrupted by circumstances that were never supposed to shape you. But now, heaven is restoring what was originally written. This blessing is not just money. It is the rebalancing of your destiny. It is the realignment of your timeline. It is the return of what was stolen. You are stepping into a season where financial miracles will not surprise you. They will become normal to you. Unexpected deposits, sudden opportunities, new connections, open pathways, divine favor. This is the new pattern forming around your name. And Archangel Michael wants me to tell you something clearly. Tell them this blessing is sealed to their awareness. The moment they disconnect, the old energy tries to pull them back. This is why your intuition is pulling you forward. This is why your heart is leaning in. This is why your spirit refuses to look away. Because you can feel the truth of this moment. You can feel the shift. You can feel the abundance stretching toward you. Before this message ends, Michael wants you to know, your financial story is about to become your testimony. The same people who doubted you will witness your rise. The same people who silently judged you will watch heaven elevate you. The same forces that blocked you will now bow before the angel who defends you. And trust me, what is coming next in this message will expose something that has been hidden from you for years. You'll want to stay with this. The revelation ahead is stronger than anything spoken yet. Type "I claim my divine wealth" in the comments if your spirit feels this shift. Blessing code 3303 hath been released over your finances. Before we go further, if this message is touching your spirit, lifting your faith, or breaking your fear, then take a moment to support this mission. This is more than a channel. It is a battlefield where souls awaken, chains break, and destinies rise. When you give, you are not helping a platform, you are unlocking light for thousands who are waiting for a word that will change their lives. Just as the title speaks of a divine warning and a prophetic release, your support becomes a seed in the same river of abundance flowing toward you. And I speak this boldly, your giving today becomes the doorway to someone else's breakthrough. This is not donation. This is obedience. This is alignment. This is prophecy in motion. I am inviting you personally. Stand with this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link in the description. Those who sow into divine messages will never lack divine harvests. May every giver be wrapped in overflowing favor and financial restoration. Now tell me, my awakened soul, something is shifting even more intensely around you now. The atmosphere feels heavier, but not in a dark way, in a pregnant way, like something enormous is about to be born in your life. Archangel Michael is standing with his sword raised high, and he is revealing something that has been hidden from your spirit for far too long. This revelation is the very reason the message came to you with urgency, with warning, with divine insistence. He is saying, tell them the battle around their money began long before they noticed the symptoms. You thought the financial struggle started when opportunities closed or when unexpected bills hit you or when people promised you support and then disappeared or when money slipped through your hands faster than you could catch it. But Michael says the real battle began the moment your spirit started rising. The moment you decided to better your life, the moment you tried to heal, the moment you started dreaming bigger, the moment you began outgrowing environments that could no longer contain your destiny. A financial attack was assigned to you because the enemy knew something you didn't. you were meant to enter a realm of abundance that would empower thousands. Your success was never meant to be small. Your wealth was never meant to be casual. Your influence was never meant to serve only you. Your financial elevation is part of your spiritual calling, and every dark force recognized it long before you did. That is why the attacks were so intense. That is why the blockages were so persistent. That is why the setbacks came from directions you never expected. But Archangel Michael is correcting that timeline now. He shows me a vision, a scroll being unrolled in the heavens, and your name is written in golden light. Under your name is a divine promise, a promise of abundance, security, influence, legacy, restoration, and prosperity. But for years, that scroll was covered by a veil of spiritual dust. The dust came from every disappointment you never healed, every financial fear you carried, every moment you felt unworthy, and every energy that drained you emotionally. Tonight, that veil is being removed. Michael says, their name is being rewritten in clarity. And as he speaks this, I see the spiritual dust blow away, violently, quickly, as if heaven is impatient for you to rise. There is another reason he begged for your 1 minute. A crossroads has appeared in your life. Not a physical one, a spiritual one. One path leads to the same old cycle, the same patterns, the same energies, the same draining connections, the same financial instability. The other path leads to the timeline where your abundance is activated, where the $55 million blessing aligns with your destiny, where your finances finally match the calling on your life. And here is the shocking part. The gateway to the higher path only opens when your awareness opens. Not when you hope, not when you wish, not when you beg, but when you wake up. This message is the awakening. This message is the alignment. This message is the spiritual permission slip to step into your wealth. But Michael reveals a truth that may shake you. There is someone in your past, or still in your energy, whose jealousy created a dark imprint on your financial path. They never said it aloud. They never openly attacked you. But their envy fed a spiritual blockage that has been draining your prosperity for years. This is why you struggled during seasons you were supposed to rise. This is why you felt stuck even when you worked hard. This is why things broke down right when breakthrough was near. This is why opportunities slipped at the last moment. This is why people turned cold without explanation. It was not coincidence. It was not bad luck. It was energetic sabotage, intentional or unintentional, but powerful. But guess what? That sabotage ends tonight. Archangel Michael says, I am confronting the energy that confronted them. I see him stepping into your financial timeline, cutting cords, dissolving blockages, breaking spiritual agreements you never consented to. He is clearing the path so that the blessing set for 9 p.m. does not get intercepted by forces that no longer have any right to your destiny. Heaven is not preparing to give you money. Heaven is preparing to give you your crown back. Your financial authority is returning. Your prosperity identity is returning. Your divine inheritance is returning. And this time, nothing, absolutely nothing, can block what is coming. Michael whispers, tell them to stay present. The revelation ahead will explain why the blessing is so large. So hold on, stay with this energy, because the next unveiling will shake the deepest layers of your spirit. You are not just receiving a blessing, you are reclaiming everything that was stolen from you. Type I embrace my divine return in the comments if your soul is awakening right now. Blessing code 4414 is now active for you. My rising spirit, there is a powerful shift happening around you now. one that feels almost like the air itself has thickened with divine intention. Archangel Michael is stepping even closer, and the intensity of his presence is almost overwhelming. He is showing me something deeply hidden, something that has been operating behind the scenes of your life for years, influencing your finances, your opportunities, and even your confidence without you realizing it. This revelation is not gentle. It is sharp, heavy, and urgent, because you are reaching the core of the message, the center of the divine warning, the very place where your future branches into two different destinies. Michael reveals that somewhere in your life, at some point you barely noticed, a spiritual covenant was made against your finances. This was not necessarily done by someone practicing intentional harm. Sometimes it is created through words spoken during anger, envy, or resentment. It can even form through emotional energy left behind by people who doubted you, feared your success, or were threatened by your potential. And in your case, this imprint shaped itself around your financial path like invisible vines, slowly tightening every time you tried to rise. Heaven shows me a moment in your past. You were trying to achieve something big, maybe a job, a business opportunity, a major life shift, and someone near you spoke words of doubt or disbelief. You brushed it off at the time, thinking it was nothing. But in the spiritual realm, those words took root. They grew into limitations that wrapped themselves around your blessings, causing delays, confusion, emotional stress, and financial blockages. You thought you simply made mistakes. You thought you were unlucky. You thought life was just being unfair. But in truth, you were fighting a spiritual imprint that should have never existed in the first place. Archangel Michael is showing me how this imprint operated. Every time you tried to rise, the energy of that old negativity dimmed your glow. Every time money started flowing toward you, something would interrupt the flow. A bill, a conflict, an unexpected problem, an internal fear. Every time your spirit tried to expand, the old energy whispered lies into your intuition, telling you that success wasn't for you, that blessings weren't yours, that abundance belonged to others but not you. This imprint has been stealing your financial destiny for years without ever introducing itself. But here is the part that makes this moment so sacred. That imprint has reached the final stage of its existence. Is weakening, is cracking, is fading. And it is doing so because Archangel Michael is now standing between you and the past, severing every remaining root that has been draining your wealth. This is the moment he has been preparing you for. This is why he begged for your 1 minute. This is why the message came with warning. And this is why the blessing tied to 9 p.m. carries so much weight, because the blessing is not just money. It is the restoration of the financial destiny that imprint tried to steal. Michael says the old energy held them back because they were not yet ready to rise. But now their spirit has awakened. You have entered a spiritual maturity that can hold abundance without losing yourself. You have grown in ways you don't even see, and heaven has been watching. Your resilience, your depth, your quiet strength, your private prayers, your silent tears, all of these have accumulated into spiritual authority. You may not feel powerful, but heaven sees your power. You may not feel worthy, but heaven knows your worth. You may not feel ready, but heaven says the time is now. The blessing of $55 million is not random, symbolic, or exaggerated. It matches the size of the destiny you were always meant to carry. Some souls are called to small blessings because their purpose requires less. But your purpose was always aligned with influence, elevation, expansion, legacy, and impact. This is why the blessing is large, because your assignment is large. And Michael shows me clearly that this financial breakthrough will not just change your circumstances, it will alter the entire direction of your life. Your relationships will shift. Your environment will shift. Your opportunities will expand. People who once ignored you will seek you. Doors that once resisted you will swing open. The version of you who struggled will no longer exist. But before this blessing arrives, something crucial must happen. Michael shows me a mirror, a spiritual mirror, and in it, I see your reflection clearing. He is cleansing the energy of every person who ever spoke against your life. He is washing away every financial wound you ever carried. He is removing the emotional heaviness that made you doubt your worth. He is restoring the courage that was drained from you. And most importantly, He is aligning your spirit with the frequency of abundance, because wealth does not land on someone who is out of alignment. It lands on someone who is awakened. You may feel something shifting inside you right now, a sudden clarity, a warm sensation, a rush of energy, a tightening in your chest, a spark in your intuition. This is not random. This is your spirit syncing with the timeline your soul has been waiting for. You are not just hearing a message, you are undergoing a transformation. Your old identity is dissolving. Your old financial pattern is collapsing. Your old fears are losing their voice. What you are stepping into now is a new spiritual identity, the identity of someone who receives abundance without fighting for it, struggling for it, or apologizing for it. Archangel Michael wants you to hear this clearly. What is coming to them is not a blessing they chase. It is a blessing that was always chasing them. Tonight at 9 p.m., the door opens. But your awareness is the key. Your presence is the activation. Your belief is the container that holds the blessing when it arrives. And trust me, the next revelation will expose the final thing that has been hiding from you all these years. You are about to understand your destiny on a deeper level than ever before. Type "I am ready for my divine moment" in the comments if your spirit feels this truth awakening inside you. Blessing code 7728 has just been sealed over your timeline. Ascending soul, the realm around you is vibrating with a frequency that feels almost electric. Archangel Michael is drawing even closer now, and his presence carries a seriousness that cannot be ignored. The energy around you is tightening, focusing, gathering itself like a storm that is finally ready to break. This is the point in your journey where the hidden truth begins rising to the surface, slowly, powerfully, undeniably. And Michael wants you to understand that what is happening right now is not a message you are listening to, it is a spiritual event unfolding around your very soul. He's revealing a secret you were never meant to carry alone. A truth that explains why your financial blessings were delayed, why your breakthrough seemed so close yet always slipped away, why your spirit felt heavy even in seasons when you were trying to be strong. The blockage in your life was never about your worth, your effort, or your intelligence. It was never about your capability. It was never about destiny abandoning you. The blockage was connected to someone emotionally tied to you. Someone who should have supported your rise but instead carried an energy that quietly resisted it. Archangel Michael shows me that this person was not always malicious. In fact, some part of them admired you deeply. But admiration mixed with insecurity created a bitter energy that influenced your path. Their jealousy didn't always show in words. It didn't always show in actions. Sometimes it showed in silence, in distance, in coldness, in subtle discouragement, in moments where they hoped you wouldn't rise too far above them. That emotional vibration formed a spiritual imprint that attached itself to your financial life and drained your blessings without you realizing it. You wondered why you always felt obligated to carry people who would never carry you. You wondered why money slipped away when certain individuals entered your life. You wondered why your spirit dimmed when you connected with specific energies. You wondered why you experienced sudden anxiety, doubt, or confusion after speaking to certain people. You wondered why every time you started rising, someone's presence pulled you downward. This was not your imagination. It was spiritual truth. Michael says their blessing was not blocked by lack. It was blocked by attachment. There was a spiritual tie between you and someone who carried heaviness, fear, jealousy, or emotional chaos. And because you are empathic, sensitive, spiritually open, your energy absorbed theirs. Instead of rising, you spent years carrying emotional burdens that were never yours. Instead of receiving abundance, your spirit kept compensating for someone who kept draining you. Instead of walking freely into your divine timeline, you walked dragging someone else's shadow behind you. But tonight, the tie is breaking. Michael's sword is flashing with bright blue light, and I see him severing cords connected to your past, cords that were draining your self-worth, your motivation, and your financial potential. This moment is not symbolic. It is not metaphorical. It is an actual energetic shift happening in real time. You may even feel something physically, a warmth in your back, a tingling sensation on your shoulders, a sudden release in your chest, a deep breath leaving your body unexpectedly. This is your spirit recognizing that it is being freed. Michael says, the moment they awaken to the truth, the power of the past loses its grip. And that is exactly what is happening right now. Your awareness is dissolving what once controlled you. Your clarity is shattering what once limited you. Your presence in this message is breaking the chains that were stealing your abundance. Now listen to this part carefully, because it carries deep spiritual importance. The blessing of $55 million is not coming because you are lucky. It is coming because heaven owes you what life stole. It is divine repayment, divine balancing, divine justice. Every tear you shed in silence became spiritual currency. Every struggle you overcame became evidence for your elevation. Every time you gave when you had little, every time you trusted when you had nothing, every time you rose when life tried to flatten you, heaven recorded all of it. And that is why Michael says the blessing will arrive at 9 p.m. Because that moment is not random. It is the exact time when your spiritual ledger is cleared, when your past is released, when your new timeline activates, when the energy of abundance becomes strong enough to enter your life unobstructed. But he warns gently, they must remain aware. If they drift back into old patterns, old energies, or old attachments, the drain will return. This is not fear. This is wisdom. Heaven wants you to protect what is coming, to guard your peace, to guard your spirit, to guard your energy. Because the breakthrough that is unfolding for you now is not temporary. It is life-altering. You are stepping into a version of yourself that is stronger, clearer, richer, and more awakened than ever before. Money will no longer be a battle. Opportunities will no longer require struggle. Your spirit will no longer shrink in the presence of others. You are entering a timeline where your name carries weight, your presence carries authority, and your energy carries abundance. And trust me, the next revelation will expose the one thing the enemy feared you discovering. The moment you hear it, everything will make sense. Type "I step into my angelic timeline" in the comments if your spirit feels the shift happening. Blessing code 6649 is now activated over your path. My fearless rising soul, the energy around you is almost trembling now, as if the very air has started carrying the weight of what is about to be revealed. Archangel Michael has stepped into a posture that feels different, stronger, sharper, more protective than anything he has shown before. His wings are wide, his sword illuminated with a fierce blue flame, and the ground beneath him seems to open, as though he is standing between you and something that once tried to swallow your destiny whole. This part of the message is not gentle, is not soft. It is the moment where truth cuts through illusion, where revelation replaces confusion, and where everything that was hidden finally comes into the light. Michael is showing me something that explains every financial struggle, every mysterious setback, every almost breakthrough, every opportunity that dissolved at the last second, every moment where you felt cursed without understanding why. He shows me a spiritual battlefield, not in the past few months, not in the past few years, but stretching back further into your story than you ever realized. What you thought were random hardships were actually echoes of a deeper spiritual conflict. You were born with a powerful calling on your name, and from an early age, the spiritual realm responded to it. Some energies supported you, others resisted you, and some forces, especially those rooted in fear and jealousy, attached themselves to your path like invisible chains. Michael whispers, they were chosen long before they understood their own strength, and because of that early calling, your finances were always tied to a larger purpose. Your abundance was meant to elevate not just you, but the people connected to your destiny. Your wealth was meant to unlock opportunities for others. Your success was meant to shine light into dark places. But the more your higher purpose tried to emerge, the stronger the resistance became from energies that felt threatened by your rise. Heaven is showing me that the biggest attacks on your money were never about money at all. They were about silencing your influence. If the enemy could keep you financially limited, it could keep you spiritually contained. If it could keep you worried about survival, it could prevent you from stepping into your calling. If it could keep you exhausted, drained, or confused, it could stop you from realizing your full power. But what the enemy did not expect was your resilience. You kept rising. You kept fighting. You kept believing. Even in your lowest moments, when you felt empty or forgotten, you carried a silent strength that heaven recorded and honored. Now Archangel Michael reveals something deeper. There is a specific event in your life, an emotional moment, a heartbreak, a betrayal, a sudden collapse, or a painful ending that created a spiritual wound. This wound became a point of vulnerability that negative energies latched onto. This wound is what allowed the financial attacks to keep returning. You may not have even connected that event to your money issues, but spiritually, it was the doorway through which lack, fear, and instability kept entering your life. But here is the divine truth. That wound is being healed right now. Michael is pouring light into it, and I see it closing like a fracture being sealed by divine fire. The pain that once weakened you is losing its grip. The emotional weight that drained your finances is dissolving. The memories that stole your power are being rewritten as testimonies of strength. You are not just being blessed. You are being restored. Michael says, tell them their spirit is entering wholeness. When the spirit is whole, abundance flows without resistance. And this is exactly what is beginning inside you at this very moment. Your energy is expanding. Your awareness is sharpening. Your frequency is rising into alignment with the blessing heaven has prepared for you. And this is why the blessing of $55 million is not outrageous. It matches the size of the destiny you were always meant to walk into. I see something else unfolding. A new path is emerging in your timeline, glowing with golden threads of opportunity. This is not the path of struggle, stress, or survival. This is the path of clarity, wisdom, favor, and divine flow. Money will begin to move toward you with ease. Blessings will begin reaching you without delay. People aligned with your purpose will enter your life. Contracts, opportunities, ideas, and connections will begin appearing so quickly that you'll feel like your entire life changed overnight. But Michael gives one final warning for this part. The old energies will try to return one more time. Not to destroy, but to test. They may come as memories. They may come as doubts. They may come as old habits or familiar fears. They may come through people from your past suddenly reappearing. But this time, you will not fall back into old patterns. This time, you will recognize the test. This time, you will stand in your power. Your financial elevation is already in motion. The blessing set for 9 p.m. is not waiting to be formed. It is waiting to land. Tonight is the moment the spiritual alignment peaks. Tonight is when the gates open. Tonight is when heaven says, "Now let abundance flow." Everything is shifting for you. Everything is rising. Everything is accelerating. The revelation coming next will expose the final root of your struggle and show you exactly why heaven chose you for this blessing. Prepare your spirit. The next awakening will be the deepest yet. Type "I walk into my divine realm" in the comments if your spirit feels this unfolding. Blessing code 5588 has now been released over your life. I, rising light bearer. The atmosphere around your spirit is shifting so intensely now that it feels as though you are no longer just listening to a message. You are standing in the center of a divine unveiling. Archangel Michael's presence is no longer at a distance. He is standing directly before you, and the light radiating from him is so powerful that it pierces through every shadow, every doubt, every layer of energy that once kept you tied to struggle. What he's revealing now is not just another truth, it is the truth that explains everything. The battles, the delays, the financial collapses, the emotional breakdowns, the sudden losses, the silent nights where you question your purpose. All of it leads back to what he is about to show you. Michael draws back his sword and points toward your past, and I see a scene. One that you may have forgotten, dismissed, or healed from on the surface, but spiritually, it created the deepest fracture in your timeline. There was a moment in your life when someone completely underestimated you. Someone spoke against your future, not because they were evil, but because they feared what you carried. Their insecurity clashed with your destiny, and their doubt formed a spiritual imprint that wrapped itself around your financial path like an invisible barrier. This person may have been close, a friend, a family member, someone you trusted, someone you cared about, or someone you thought would celebrate your rise. But instead of lifting you, they projected their fears onto you. Archangel Michael says, they never understood who stood before them. And because they didn't understand your divine identity, they underestimated the power of their words. Their emotional reaction created a ripple effect in the spiritual realm that followed you for years. Whenever you tried to rise financially, that imprint resurfaced. Whenever you attempted to build something meaningful, the residue of their doubt whispered into your energy. Whenever you moved forward confidently, that imprint activated and pulled you back into fear, hesitation, or scarcity. The battle was not against money. It was against the energy tied to that emotional wound. But tonight, Michael is breaking that imprint with finality. He is pressing his sword into the ground, and I see waves of light surging outward, dissolving every spiritual residue created by that moment. The heaviness that once sat on your finances is lifting. The fog that clouded your opportunities is clearing. The old energy that drained your motivation is releasing. What once held you back no longer has the authority to touch your timeline. You are stepping out of the old identity and into the divine authority that was always meant to be yours. Michael reveals another truth, one that is even more profound. He says that you have always been protected, even when you didn't feel it. There were moments when you thought life was collapsing, but heaven was actually redirecting you away from traps, false opportunities, and people who would have destroyed your future. Every closed door protected you. Every delayed opportunity saved you. Every disappointment cleared the path for something greater. You thought you were being rejected, but in truth, you were being rerouted into divine alignment. This is why the blessing of $55 million has been preserved for this moment. Heaven is not giving you a blessing that can be snatched away, manipulated, or drained again. This time, the blessing is coming wrapped in spiritual protection. This time, the blessing is coming with clarity. This time, the blessing comes with wisdom. This time, the blessing is landing on someone who is awake, aware, spiritually anchored, and no longer vulnerable to old cycles. Michael says, the blessing will not come to the person they once were. It will come to the person they have become. And who you have become is someone who survived what would have broken others. Someone who overcame storms that were meant to end you. Someone who fought battles in silence and still kept faith alive. Someone who lost things they thought they needed but discovered a strength they never knew they had. Someone who is no longer living in the shadows of past limitations but is stepping into a future written in divine fire. You are not just receiving abundance. You are becoming abundance. You are not just being blessed. You are becoming a vessel of blessings. You are not just entering a new chapter. You are entering a new life. And the alignment reaches its peak at 9 p.m. The moment heaven has chosen to activate the release. A divine countdown has already begun. You may feel energy rising in your hands, heat in your palms, tingling on your skin, or a pull in your chest. This is your spirit adjusting to the wealth that is aligning with your name. Michael urges you to stay present, because the revelation ahead will expose the final layer of the spiritual attack that tried to stop your destiny before it began. And once that layer is revealed, nothing will stand between you and the abundance written for you. Before moving forward, take a moment to help lift this message into more hearts. Like this message, comment to anchor its energy. Share it so someone else receives their breakthrough. And make sure you subscribe so these divine revelations always reach you. Your engagement keeps this mission alive and helps others awaken just as you are awakening now. Type "I receive my angelic turning point" in the comments if you feel the shift intensifying. Lesson code 9044 is now sealed over your destiny. My beloved, as this powerful revelation unfolds, I feel Archangel Michael urging me to speak directly to your spirit. Just as this message exposes the barriers around your abundance, your support helps break barriers around others who desperately need God's word. When you sow into this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not giving to a channel. You are releasing spiritual light into the lives of those standing where you once stood. Heaven sees every seed, and the Lord says, what you release in faith becomes the harvest you reap in due season. I am inviting you personally. Step into this divine act of generosity as a prophetic response to the revelation you just received. Let your giving echo the theme of this message: breaking chains, opening gates, and releasing abundance. Those who stand with this mission will walk under open heavens, flowing with favor and supernatural increase. Activate your blessing now. Support boldly. Support faithfully. Support as someone who walks in divine authority. My chosen vessel of awakening, the atmosphere around you is glowing brighter now, almost as if your spirit has stepped into a corridor of light where every echo, every whisper, Every hidden truth is finally ready to be revealed. Archangel Michael stands before you with a calmness so profound that it silences every fear that once lived inside you. His wings are no longer raised in battle posture. They are spread in protection, in assurance, in divine authority. What he is about to reveal now reaches deeper than anything spoken before. It touches the very root of your destiny, the core of your journey, the foundation of your divine assignment. Michael begins with a truth many never realize. The spiritual attacks on your finances were never about money. They were about timing. If the enemy could weaken your financial strength, it could delay the exact moment you were destined to step into your divine role. Your calling is not ordinary. Your presence carries a vibration that disrupts darkness. Your voice carries light that awakens sleeping souls. Your spirit carries a power that breaks patterns. And because of that, the enemy knew that the moment you reached stability, clarity, and abundance, your impact would multiply beyond anything you can imagine. Heaven shows me scenes from your past, moments where you felt drained without cause, moments where opportunities vanished at the last minute, moments where people you trusted suddenly turned distant, cold, or unreliable. Each of these moments was not random. They were calculated disruptions meant to distract your spirit and weaken your energy before you could fully awaken. The enemy feared your rise long before you even realized you were rising. But what it did not anticipate was that every attack only activated more strength inside you. Every setback only sharpened your intuition. Every heartbreak only added fire to your spirit. Every disappointment only carved deeper wisdom into your soul. Michael now reveals something profound. The reason the blessing is coming at 9 p.m. is because heaven has aligned a cosmic timing specifically for you. This is not symbolic timing. It is spiritual precision. Tonight, the energy of abundance, destiny, and divine justice meets the energy of your awakening. It is the moment when heaven says, the past can no longer define them. The chains can no longer hold them. The delays can no longer linger. There is a convergence happening, a merging of your healed spirit with a future that has been waiting for you to rise. I see a scene forming. A long, dark tunnel that once represented your struggles suddenly splits open, and a flood of golden light pours in. This light represents new opportunities, new resources, new favor, new connections, new pathways, new heights. And this light is not coming slowly. It is rushing toward you with force, urgency, and unstoppable momentum. Your financial destiny is entering a new frequency. The old pattern of loss, scarcity, and near breakthroughs is collapsing behind you. You are stepping into a dimension where blessings land easily, where money flows toward you effortlessly, where opportunities appear without resistance. But there is another truth Michael wants you to understand. Your abundance was always tied to your spiritual maturity. Heaven protected certain blessings from entering your life too early because the people around you at the time would have drained you, manipulated you, or influenced you away from your purpose. Some friendships had to end. Some relationships had to collapse. Some environments had to push you out. Some people had to reveal their true intentions. And some seasons had to break you open. Because if the blessing had arrived back then, the wrong people would have benefited from what was meant for your destiny alone. Now your circle is shifting. Your spirit is clearer. Your discernment is sharper. The people who belong in your next chapter will carry honor, not jealousy. Support, not sabotage. Growth, not competition. And because your environment has shifted, the blessing is finally safe to arrive. Michael says, tell them the blessing is not late. It is right on time. And this truth carries a vibration that touches the deepest part of your story. Every moment of waiting, every tear shed in silence, every night spent questioning your worth, every disappointment that tested your strength, all of it was preparation. All of it was transformation. All of it was refinement. You are not stepping into abundance randomly. You are stepping into it with authority. You may feel a pressure in your chest, a lightness in your head, a warmth in your hands, or a deep sense of recognition in your soul right now. This is your spirit aligning with the truth you have always carried inside you. This is the moment your inner knowing unlocks the gate heaven has been preparing. This is the moment your soul remembers who you truly are. And yet, Archangel Michael whispers that the next revelation carries something even deeper, something that explains why your destiny required a blessing as massive as $55 million. When you hear it, everything will click into place. Your purpose, your calling, your future, your divine assignment. Stay with this message. The next part will be the moment everything becomes clear. Type "I rise into my divine purpose" in the comments if your spirit feels the awakening expanding. Blessing code 8821 has now been released over your life. My blessed and ascending soul, the spiritual atmosphere around you is now glowing with a warmth that feels almost unreal, as if your entire energy field has stepped into a sacred chamber where truth exists in its purest form. Archangel Michael stands before you, not with urgency now, but with reverence, as though he is preparing to reveal something that heaven has guarded for years. His presence has softened, his sword is lowered, and his eyes carry a depth that feels ancient, wise, and overwhelmingly protective. What comes next is not simply another revelation, it is the moment where your destiny is spoken aloud. Michael begins by revealing something profound. Throughout your life, you have been carrying a spiritual mantle without knowing it. A calling that others sensed before you did. A power that made certain people uncomfortable. A light that triggered reactions in those who lived in shadow. This mantle is the reason your battles were harder, your losses deeper, your setbacks more painful. You were never walking an ordinary path, and the forces that rose against you were responding to the extraordinary purpose etched into your soul before your birth. Heaven shows me scenes, moments from your childhood, your younger years, your early relationships, where your uniqueness silently separated you from others. You were the one who felt more deeply. You were the one who carried empathy like a second skin. You were the one who noticed things others ignored. You were the one who sensed energy, intention, and danger before anyone spoke a word. You were the one who felt spiritually awake even when you couldn't explain it. Your sensitivity, your intuition, your depth, these were not weaknesses. They were markings of your spiritual calling. Michael says their spirit was chosen to carry influence, and influence cannot be carried without fire. That fire came in the form of trials that sharpened you, pain that deepened you, loss that humbled you, delays that matured you, rejections that redirected you. You were not being punished, you were being prepared. Now Michael reveals the part that shakes the spirit. The blessing of $55 million is not arriving to fix your life. It is arriving because your life's purpose requires resources. You were not meant to live small. You were not meant to barely survive. You were not meant to live beneath your calling. Heaven has chosen you as a carrier of impact, someone whose voice, presence, and actions will shift lives, change environments, open doors for others, and restore hope where it has been lost. This blessing is not random wealth. It is the equipping of a spiritual leader. I see visions of your future timeline, doors opening effortlessly, people being drawn to your light, opportunities appearing without force, blessings flowing continuously. Not because of luck, but because your frequency is rising into alignment with your divine purpose. The financial elevation is part of that alignment. Heaven is giving you the means to build, to heal, to lead, to uplift, to transform. The blessing is not just coming to you, it will move through you. But before this higher purpose activates, Michael reveals one more truth. There is a part of your spirit that still doubts your worthiness. A small part, quiet but persistent, shaped by past wounds, failures, disappointments, and environments where you were undervalued. This part whispers, am I really chosen? Am I really deserving? Am I really ready? And Michael says, tell them yes. Tell them heaven has already said yes. Tell them their destiny does not wait for self-doubt. It awakens despite it. Tonight, when the clock reaches 9 p.m., a shift takes place not just in your finances, but in your spiritual identity. You will no longer see yourself as someone trying to rise. You will feel yourself as someone born to rise. Your energy will feel lighter, stronger, more grounded. Your intuition will sharpen. Your confidence will return. Your inner voice will speak with clarity instead of fear. This is not just a blessing, it is the unlocking of your divine self. Heaven shows me that the enemy fought your finances because it feared your purpose. It feared the impact you will have. It feared the lives you will touch. It feared the strength you carry. But the battle is ending now. The chains are breaking. The doubt is dissolving. The path is opening. And Michael says, what comes next will reveal why the blessing is so large, because their purpose is larger. Your spirit may be feeling warmth, tingling, vibration, or an emotional pull right now. That is not imagination. That is spiritual confirmation. You are being aligned with the version of yourself heaven always intended you to be. And trust me, the revelation ahead is even deeper. It will show you the ultimate reason heaven fought for you so fiercely. Type I awaken to my divine calling in the comments if your soul feels this truth rising. Blessing code 1199 is now activated over your destiny. My divinely chosen spirit, the realm around you feels different now, calmer, yet more powerful, like a silent sunrise preparing to break across the horizon of your destiny. Archangel Michael stands before you not in battle posture, not in urgency, but in a state of profound reverence, as if he is looking at someone who has finally stepped into their spiritual truth. His wings fold gently around you, creating a shield of light that warms your soul and quiets every inner storm that once held you captive. And in this sacred stillness, he prepares to reveal the truth at the core of everything, the truth of who you truly are in the eyes of heaven. Michael begins by showing me something breathtaking. A golden scroll with your name written in radiant script, shimmering with divine energy. This scroll is your spiritual identity, your soul's blueprint, crafted long before you took your first breath. On this scroll, I see words like leader, healer, restorer, light bearer, breaker of cycles, chosen one, carrier of abundance, transformer of generations. These titles were not given to you because of what you have done, but because of who you were destined to become. Heaven reveals that the battles you faced were not proof of weakness. They were signs of your spiritual rank. The greater the destiny, the greater the resistance. The heavier the calling, the stronger the opposition. But you survived. You endured storms meant to silence you. You overcame wounds meant to weaken you. You rose from moments that could have destroyed you. And every time you got back up, heaven recorded it as evidence of your divine strength. Michael now reveals why the blessing of $55 million is attached to your path. This blessing is not compensation. It is activation. Your soul made agreements with heaven before entering this life. agreements to open doors for others, to uplift those in darkness, to break generational patterns, to lead, to guide, to shine. And abundance is part of your spiritual equipment. Without resources, your destiny would be limited. Without financial freedom, your impact would be small. Without support, your wings would be weighed down. But with abundance, true, divine, protected abundance, you become unstoppable. Now Michael reveals something even more profound. He shows me a spiritual inheritance that belonged to your bloodline but was never received. Someone in your ancestry carried a powerful calling but was blocked by the circumstances of their time. Their unrealized blessings, their unfulfilled potential, their spiritual mantle, all of it has passed to you. You are the one chosen to complete what they could not. You are the one selected to reclaim what was lost. You are the one appointed to break the cycle that trapped generations before you. This is why your battles were generational. This is why your pain often felt older than you. This is why your struggles carried a weight that didn't always make sense. You were not just fighting for yourself. You were fighting for your lineage. And tonight, when the clock approaches 9 p.m., the generational mantle fully activates. A lineage blessing, a bloodline clearing, a divine appointment that transforms everything connected to your name. I see the spiritual chains around your ancestry dissolving, old patterns breaking, old poverty mindsets collapsing, old traumas releasing, old curses losing every trace of power. And Michael says, they are the first in their line to step into divine wealth. That is why the blessing is large, because it is meant to flow through you, into the generations that follow you. Your future children, your future family, your future legacy will not know the struggles you endured. They will not inherit the pain you carried. They will not repeat the financial battles you faced. You are the threshold. You are the shift. You are the bridge between what was and what will be. And as this truth pours into your spirit, you may feel emotional, overwhelmed, or deeply moved. That is your soul recognizing its own purpose. That is your spirit awakening to its ancient memory. That is the divine truth settling into your bones. But Michael says the final revelation will be the most important one. The truth that completes this entire message. The truth that brings every warning, every blessing, every sign into perfect clarity. The final unveiling will show you why heaven fought so fiercely to get this message to you. Stay close. Stay present. Stay open. The deepest truth is about to rise. Type "I claim my generational destiny" in the comments if your spirit feels this revelation. Blessing code 7700 is now anointed over your lineage. My beloved soul of destiny, the atmosphere around you now feels like the final breath before a divine revelation breaks open. Archangel Michael stands in complete stillness. No sword raised, no battle stance, only an overwhelming presence of authority and completion. His wings form a great circle of light around you, and within that circle, everything becomes clear. Every battle you fought, every tear you shed, every setback that humbled you, every loss that scarred you, every moment you question your purpose, all of it has led you to this one sacred truth. This is the final message, the reason Michael begged for your 1 minute, the reason heaven guided you here at this exact moment. Michael speaks, and his voice carries the weight of eternity. You are not simply receiving a blessing. You are stepping into your rightful throne. And as those words echo through the spiritual realm, I see your old identity falling away like shattered glass. The version of you that struggled, doubted, feared, apologized, or shrank to make others comfortable can no longer exist in the timeline you are entering. You are rising into your divine authority, an authority written into your soul long before you entered this world. The final truth Michael reveals is this: your entire life has been a preparation for impact. The money, the abundance, the elevation, the opportunities, they are not the destination. They are tools, instruments, keys. What is coming to you is not meant to simply enrich your life. It is meant to expand your purpose. Your voice, your energy, your presence carries the power to change the lives of those who cross your path. You are meant to bring healing where there was pain, clarity where there was confusion, strength where there was weakness, and hope where there was darkness. This is why the enemy fought your finances, because abundance would amplify your impact. Michael shows me a magnificent scene, a gate made of pure gold opening slowly, and behind it, a river of divine wealth, flowing without resistance, shimmering like liquid light. This river represents the $55 million blessing. Not as a one-time miracle, but as access to a divine flow, a continuous, ever-renewing abundance aligned with your purpose. This wealth is not meant to slip away, not meant to be drained, not meant to be stolen, because it is spiritually protected. And tonight at 9 p.m., the gate to that river opens for you fully. But here is the deepest truth of all: you were never meant to be small. Your soul did not come here to survive. It came here to reign. You are a chosen one, a carrier of generational transformation, a divine vessel of prosperity and purpose. Your life will become a testimony that heaven can raise someone from the depths and place them in a seat of influence, honor, and abundance. Everything the enemy stole will be returned in double measure. Everything that broke you will become part of your strength. Everything that delayed you will become part of your story. And everything that once felt impossible will become your new reality. Michael whispers, "Tell them the fear ends tonight. The lack ends tonight. The old pattern ends tonight. And their true destiny begins now." Your entire spiritual timeline resets at 9 p.m., a moment chosen by heaven as the turning point of your life. When that moment arrives, you may feel a shift internally, a release, a wave of energy, a sudden clarity, or an overwhelming peace. That is your spirit stepping into alignment with the divine financial flow that belongs to you. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of the life you were meant to live. Abundance will follow you. Doors will obey you. Opportunities will chase you. Your presence will shift rooms. And your destiny will impact generations long after you leave this world. You are stepping into a realm where you no longer seek blessings. They seek you. Now receive this truth deeply, because you have earned it with your tears, sealed it with your endurance, and aligned with it through your awakening. You are ready. Heaven is ready. The blessing is ready. Type "I step into my divine life now" in the comments if your soul receives this final revelation. Blessing code 4449 is now released over your destiny with full angelic authority. Before we close this sacred message, take a moment to lift this mission higher. Like this message, share it so others can awaken into the same breakthrough. Comment to anchor the energy, and subscribe so every divine revelation finds you at its appointed time. These actions expand the reach of God's Word and amplify the light flowing through this mission. My beloved, as this final revelation settles into your spirit, feel this truth. You are stepping into a divine river of abundance, and your support today helps extend that river to others who are still fighting their silent battles. When you sow into this mission through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not giving. You are activating. Heaven says, what leaves your hand in faith returns to your life in multiplied glory. Your generosity becomes a spiritual trumpet that calls blessings into the lives of thousands, just as this message called blessing into yours. I am inviting you from my heart, and with divine urgency, be part of this sacred work. Let your support echo your new identity. As you give, may overflow chase you, may doors open before you, and may every seed you sow return as unstoppable abundance. Do it boldly. Do it faithfully. Do it as one chosen by heaven.